I'm not going to teach you any of those. You'll just clobber me.
Yeah, she moves fast.
She's very fast. She's very fast, but you know, when you do this for a few years, you can get pretty fast at it. Yeah, yes, Catherine, yes, you're into it. You and Annie are into it, right? So that's why it's called the grandfather ball weapons. It's a very good weapon, and like he said, the actual target is always the head, because you whack somebody on the head with a good stick, and
It slows them down.
it slows them down. Slows them way down. Yes.
Well, the Irish use the shillelagh much the same way.
You know, it's exactly the same. It's just like a shillelagh. All right. Okay. As long as we're talking about stick, we'll have to do stick this morning. Oh. And the other side. Let's do one we've never done before. If you're right-handed, stick your left foot forward. If you're left-handed, stick your right foot forward. And then grab your stick at the very end, right? And you start at your waist and come up and pop it out. And then sink down and come back, come up, pop it out.
Where's the weight's on the right foot, right?
Well, when you start, the weight is on the right, and then the weight goes to the left foot, and then come back to the right and go to the left.
That's harder than it looks.
It's harder than it looks. That's exactly right.
That's wearing me out.
When Master Feng used to do this, his stick was 14 feet long.
Oh,
And you can imagine if you've got 14 feet of stick, and it was actually the trunk of a tree. There's something called a wax. Well, we just call it waxwood. So it's maybe 3 or 4 inches thick at the base, and then it tapers to a fine point like this. But it's heavy. It's 20, 30 pounds. And he would like this. Now, if you guys remember yesterday in Tai Chi, I was talking about how you move, the move we were talking about then, you were moving the energy from the bottom of the foot out to the tips of the fingers. And it's one continuous flow, like a river. There's no breaks in it. If it breaks, it doesn't work for martial purposes any longer, right? The energy is generated by the legs in contact with the ground. The direction is determined by where you turn the waist, and it's expressed in the hands. But it's a single boom. It's a single movement. It's exactly the same with this. Now you can switch to the other side. It's a little more awkward for those of us who are right-handed, but you get a little exercise on both sides, right? It's one continuous from the bottom of the foot to the very tip of the staff. And good. It takes a little energy,
yes,
but
it does.
you can imagine some of the folks you know who need a good pop in the head, and you could just put their picture out there and boom, give them a little pop in the head. But the thing you want to work on is you do this. Maybe we'll add this one in. You don't have to do 1,000,000 of them. Master Feng did 1,000,000 of them, but you don't have to do 1,000,000 of them. But what you have to work on is Hei Qing Yun Dong. One go. It's one movement. It's not like, oh, your legs move and then your waist moves and then your arms move. No, it's one movement. Good. All right. And it's exactly the same as with my buddy, the the whip here, right? It's exactly the same. It's just one movement. The snap comes at the end, but the whole movement has to be behind the snap, or the snap's not worth anything. Okay. Lee circles. And reverse. And shoe circles. And reverse. And ping circles. And reverse. And reverse. And block. And good. So, in China, up until very recent times, money was really scarce. And so they didn't have a lot of fancy athletic equipment, either personally or collectively for a little town or even a big town. So they had to make do with what they had. So their weights were usually just cement blocks, and their weapons were sticks. So in Tai Chi, in all the martial arts in China, but especially in Tai Chi, they had four lengths of sticks. We actually have used all three. We've got three of them here. We don't have the really long one, but we've got the three shorter ones. So if Annie will hold my middle stick, the first length stick is the shortest one. So in Chinese it's Tai Chi Bang, but we could call it a baton. And the baton is the length of a forearm, from elbow to fist. And so you're in working with it, right? What you're doing is developing your inner muscles to be able to work with grabbing someone and twisting them around a little bit, right? It's also really, really good for you. It looks really simple, but it is a real intense workout to do that. To do this for half an hour, you'll have to go lay down for an hour.
And you can also make dumplings with it.
Yeah, yes. Master Zhang's Tai Chi Bang was a narrow one like this because it was a kitchen roller that he had stolen from his wife's kitchen. That's where it originally came from, was straight out of the kitchen. But we when we make them now, we round off the corners and make them. The next length is the length that we're using for these exercises. And the length of this should be from the ground to your solar plexus, right? So if I was 6 inches taller, this should be a little taller. If I was much shorter, it should be a little shorter. It should fit to your own body. And this is just called a walking stick, and that's exactly what it is. It would have a copper ferrule on one end or an iron ferrule down at one end, and you just use it to walk with. And it's your, you know, in the Wild West they wore 6 guns, at least according to the movies, but in China they just carried a stick. And this happens to be really handy for Qigong because it's a great length it has enough length that it has some body, and you can really feel. Here's another exercise we could add in there. You can really feel, even though the weight is relatively light, you can feel it, and that helps you feel your body. So it's like a mirror. So maybe in English we'll call this the shillelagh length, right? Although a shillelagh is not as smooth usually as this, but it's for exactly the same thing. The next one, we actually have the next length. Let me dig one out here.
Yours is much lighter than mine.
Yeah, yours is heavy. I tried to change it for you, but you wouldn't let me.
I like it.
The next length is 6 inches taller than you are, whatever that is, and this is a staff. So this also can be a walking instrument. It tends to be a little smaller diameter, but you can do exactly the same exercises with this. All right. So, give me those. I want you to try this one. This is actually probably a little lighter
Yeah, it's pretty light.
per unit. Now, don't go into the TV. Do it into that corner
I
over
was
there.
gonna do it in a
Well, I want them to see the end of it. So what do you think after having done half of it? You can feel the length of it. The length of the stick will make it seem heavier as you go along. Okay, good. All right. And then the final one is somewhere we used to have some of the big ones. And the big ones are used, and they're anywhere from 9 feet to 14 feet. So I couldn't even use a 14-foot one in here because the ceilings are only 13 feet. So I'd have to use like a 9-foot one. This is probably not even a 7-foot one, and it's actually a tree. So it's, you know, as big around maybe as your ankle or something at the butt end, and then it comes to a tapered point. Do you remember we had 2 or 3 of them in the studio in San Francisco?
Yeah.
We never really got into them. But what they're for is preparing for spear work. So when you've got a spear, you've got something like this, only it's got a sharp blade at the end, right? And one of the classic moves for that is exactly this, all right? You keep it couched and then boom, you shoot it forward. Well, if you're going to fight in a battle, and you might have to do that 100 times, you better be ready for that. So the way they prepared for that was to take these trees. They would strip, they're called waxwood or something. You strip the bark off, and the tree itself is, the wood itself is already really smooth and kind of waxy, so it won't damage your hands to do this. And they would practice with those, right? Every morning they would do 100 of those, right? And it would build you up over time. Our room here is a little small for that, so I left those with Michael when we moved. But those are the 4 sticks. Okay. Okay, so everybody, I don't know why it is, but everybody loves working with sticks. Maybe just because they're nice hunks of
They're
wood,
pretty,
and
and
they're pretty, and
they
they
get
feel
warm
good, right?
They feel like a friend.
They feel like a friend. These sticks that we use up here, I don't know what you all have, but the ones that we use, these are made from what's called hard rock maple, otherwise known as sugar maple. And it's a really hard wood with a very fine grain. So this has never been purposely polished. I don't know whether you can see how polished it looks. It's only polished because of my hands on it all the time. It's self-polishing, so to speak. This is also the wood that the Steinway Piano Company uses in their, what do you call it? Their soundboard.
Yeah.
The soundboard in a Steinway grand piano is made from hard rock maple. Why? Because it carries vibration beautifully. And that's why we use it in Qigong, because it's going to carry your internal vibrations really well, right? And when you do an exercise like this, right, you want your vibration to come all the way out to the end and even snap into the other person. Boom, right? So we use the best wood in the world, right? Kevin,
Yeah, I'm still coughing up dust from sanding those damn things in the studio.
We got, we ordered, we actually made all these, and I've got a dozen of them over there. We actually made these ourselves. I ordered these from a lumber mill in Minnesota, and they came, but they were just rough cut. And so we rounded off, we cut them to length, we rounded off the edges, and we sanded them down, I think, to 240, something like that.
It
And
was 3 grades of sandpaper, and then we hit it with museum wax.
yeah, and then we waxed them. You want to wax them because otherwise your sweat will get in the wood and it'll cause the wood to expand, and you don't want it to do that. Um, Anyway, it was worth the trouble. We've used them all these years since then. However, I want to show you something. Before we did that, I used this. All right? And you can see it's like different colors because it's made of shorter pieces of wood that have been splined together. This is a closet rod from Home Depot from 40 years ago. All right? And you know, I never did anything to it. I just bought this because it was cheap and it was available. But right, it's been absolutely fine. I like the vibration of the other one better, but I used this for years and years and years, and it was just fine. So you can use anything you've got, but it's nice to have the Steinway approved wood.
Oh, look what he's got, honey.
Oh yeah. So what Kevin's got, what Kevin has got is called in English a Tai Chi ruler, like a ruler to measure length. I have no idea why they call it that, but the purpose of that, Kevin, hold it up again between your hands, between your palms, right? So hold your palms over, yeah. So this is an instrument that you use in Qigong. And in other words, what we were doing this morning. So you might hold it like this, and there's all kinds of exercises you can do. Boom. And using a Tai Chi ruler is fine. I've never used one because you can also just use a Tai Chi bomb. You can use the short stick. So I've just always I've had the short stick, so I would just use it.
This is great for foot massage.
Yeah, also good for foot massage too. Yeah, put that on the ground and you'll get a little work rolling your feet over it. Slow. Back up to the top of the head and then down to the foot and sink in your pelvis. Sink in your quad all the way down. Sink. Give it time. Sink. 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 So this is an exercise Master Fung liked a lot. This exercise is about opening and closing the joints of the body. You should do it really slowly because you should be paying attention inside to the joints of the body. Are they closing, closing, closing? Oh, pop, now they're all closed. Now open them, open, open, and now let them close again, close, close, close. When you finally feel them all close, then you pop up again. Let me show you one more thing. I wasn't going to do this morning, but as long as we're doing it. Imagine this rubber ball stands in for the joints of your body. And it can be all the vertebrae in the back as well as all your major large joints, right? When it closes, it's gonna deform. It's gonna squish down. If I bounce this off the floor, when it hits the floor, it's not going to stay a perfect circle. It's going to close. Now it'll immediately bounce back, right? But when it hits the floor, it boom, and that squish is what allows it to bounce back up. So that's what this exercise is about, right? In fact, there's a whole nother, I don't have any here, there's a whole nother set of exercises for what's called Tai Chi ball. Tai Chi ball represents your Dan Chin, represents the joints in the body. You might do the exact same exercise, and when it comes down to the floor, it's gonna squish and then it's gonna bounce off the floor. Just like that, bounces off the floor. Right? Squish, bounce. Squish, bounce. Squish, bounce. That's why you want to wait until you feel everything close and hit the floor, and then you bounce. And bounce. The trick is the floor and the squish are objective things. They're not something you're making up in your head. They're something you're observing in the real world. So you don't go, oh, well, it bounced. No. You wait. Wait until you see it, until you feel it, until you hear it, and then bounce. Now, when you have developed a sense of your chi moving in that way, it doesn't have to be really deep. You can control your chi, and you can go boom, boom. True masters can do it without even moving their body. And when you see a master, someone swings at a master, and he just throws them away. He intercepts, and it just intercepts, and they sort of, that's what he's doing. He's intercepting their bounce because he's had so much experience with the bounce. Think about our Tai Chi form. Watch. Bounce. 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 It's exactly the same thing. So the Tai Chi ball or the Tai Chi bong or anytime you're working with anything, you're listening to your chi and you're learning to relax your body into the bounce and then you sort of pick up on the bounce. Right? It's like the phrase in Chinese, when you learn Tai Chi and Qigong, but especially Tai Chi, and you get good at it, they say you have become a tiger with wings. Right? A tiger with wings. What are you talking about? You've learned to use the bounce. Boom. It's not mysterious. I'm sure it's just physics, but this is a way of getting into it without mathematical equations, just to feel it. Let's do one more stick exercise. My favorite one. Bounce. 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 Have that right up against your arm. Right up against your arm. You've got somebody by the hand. You've got them by the elbow. Right? Twist. Twist. Bounce. 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 Okay. Did you work up a little sweat?
No, but I felt really good. I really liked working my upper body like that. We tend to work the
A lot
lower,
on the lower
body,
body.
more, and I got thunder thighs. I need more work on the upper.
The real you get a lot more upper body work with this, but it takes a while to get into it. It takes a couple of months to get into it, really. But where you really work out is your belly. Watch. Master Zhang's, I've told you this before, but his belly was so well developed that when you watched him do a move like that, you go, my God, because he would just wear a t-shirt or something. You go, what's wrong with him? It's like his muscles and everything were moving under there. We called it his bag of squirrels. It's like he had squirrels underneath his shirt and they were just moving. That's one of the real secrets of Tai Chi, and you get that from Qigong.
Yeah, I really feel it in my arms. It feels good.
It does feel good, and it's a good exercise.
We should do that more often.
We should do that more often. Okay, guys. All right. And touch the earth. And close your pores. Salute our masters. And salute your classmates. Thank you, everyone. If you're going to do Tai Chi, let's meet at 1/4 past, all right? So in 15 minutes. We'll see you then.